Hey gem lovers, thanks for tuning in. I would greatly appreciate it if you like this video. Feel free to share it. My name is Jana, and this week we're going to talk about a gem or a mineral called hematite. Hematite has always been considered the warrior stone, and this is actually a great source of not only our iron from around the world, but also a great source of grounding for those of you that are in need or feel you need a little more grounding in your life. Now, hematite is an iron oxide, so when you actually see or feel the gem, that's where a lot of that hefty weight comes from. That's where we get a good amount of our iron throughout the world is actually from hematite. It's more valued for its iron properties and the fact that it provides us with iron than it is as a gemstone or a crystal. So finding like larger pieces that you could put in your home that are kind of like really cool formations actually can be quite hard to do and quite rare because collectors tend to snag them right up. Now, another form of iron oxide you might be familiar with is simply rust. So when you think about how cool this mineral is, it's obviously very abundant, but hematite has gone by several names over the years. It's been called everything from paint ore to the warrior stone to red glass head, and even some English miners at one time called it kidney ore because of the shape of it. So when we think of hematite in general, we actually do think of this sort of kind of steely gray, really polished, perfect stone. Super shiny when it's been polished, super kind of iridescent, and actually the look that we think of today was even used at one point in time as a mirror throughout history. But when it's crushed up, when you actually crushed or grind this into a powder, it exhibits this striking red, orange, brown color. So that particular color is kind of known as granular hematite or even limonite or red ochre. And it was used in early pigmentation on walls. So pigments in pictographs have been found as far back as 40,000 years, all in ancient caves, whether it's paintings of animals or maybe handprints. On the walls of ancient caves, you actually see hematite essentially. And these have been discovered for many, many years. Now, ancient Egyptians would actually place the hematite in amulets or any kind of artifacts that they were going to place in a tomb because they believed that it would help you get to the afterlife. This is a stone that is readily seen throughout history. The ancient Greeks actually gave it its present day name, and it began as hematitis lithos, meaning the bloodstone. Now it evolved, but they would actually paint their skin with that reddish orange color going into battle, and quite often iron for them would signify the god Ares or their god of war. Some iron in hematite is often actually associated with warrior energies because of that original kind of belief that they would paint and go into war. Now, it's also associated with the ancient Romans and their association to Mars, who's their god of war. And on a side note, Mars itself is known as the red planet, and that's because of the proven presence of its iron oxide or hematite that you find on the surface there. Now, because of its grayish color, it was actually used throughout the Victorian age in England as mourning jewelry. So if you had lost someone, often your jewelry would have been made of hematite. It had a heavy weight and it had that steely, almost gray-black color to it. Some cultures throughout time have used it as like a natural red highlighter or even like a makeup for their skin. And not only has it been used in different forms of makeup such as lipstick, blush, mascara, it's been used in oil paints, it's been used in industrial undercoating, in bricks, in different areas of cement. You see it constantly. Now, hematite has played an important role in American history as well because pre the Revolutionary War, back in the times where, America was developing the colonies and everything, underneath Cape Cod in mainland Massachusetts, they actually found a big reserve of hematite or iron ore. And this discovery during that time allowed American colonists to develop their own iron industry and, of course, provide themselves with their own weapons for the Revolutionary War. Now, although it was once mined in thousands of different locations, really the mines are more focused today, and the main production comes from really a few dozen deposits. Some of those include areas like China or Australia. Brazil tends to have a lot of that rainbow color, we think, that iridescent color on it. India, Ukraine, South Africa, Canada, Venezuela, England, and even the United States. And if you actually look up the history of the mineral in Alabama, it's going to be the state mineral for Alabama. And it's said that around between 1840 and the early 1970s, that approximately 375 million tons of iron ore or hematite were actually mined within Alabama. Now, how did it form? Basically 2 to 3 million years ago, as you do, through photosynthesis, there were these cyanobacteria that released, they were in the ocean, and basically in a shallow ocean habitat, and they released oxygen in the process of photosynthesis, and it bonded with loose iron in the water. And because of that, over the millions of years, with volcanic activity and the moving of the Earth's plates, well, all of that came together and we got hematite. So when we see the rainbow hematite, that's something a little more commonly known because you see this beautiful iridescent, almost kind of like this purples and greens, like peacocky colors on it. And that's due to a thin coating of aluminum phosphate, which is over the gem. But there's different forms of hematite, whether or not you realize it, such as iron rose hematite. This forms more in little formations that have flakes, and the hematite actually arranges itself and it almost looks like rose petals the way that it's arranged. Hematite can also be found as an inclusion within other gemstones, such as quartz or even sunstone. So sometimes you can see those orangey colors within another stone, and that will actually be hematite as an inclusion within another gem. Now, a good way for you to know real from fake, because there is a lot of fake when it comes to this gemstone out there, a great way for you to know that is hematite can actually become magnetic. That's true. After you heat it, it can, but it's a really weak charge. So it should never have that magnetic property that we think of that some of the synthetics have. The synthetics often will be magnetic, but a natural should not. Now, we're going to jump over into the metaphysical properties of this gem. And these are kind of like the spiritual side of the gem. Remember, if you suffer from anything, you should always seek a true medical professional's opinion. But I like to share a different side of these gemstones with you, just so you get the full picture on where some of the legends and lore came from over the years. But if you are in need of medical advice, this is not it. You should always seek it from a true medical professional. Let's talk about balancing and grounding. Do you need balance and grounding in your life? I always say yes to these things. Hematite provides us with a sense of stability and protection. Maybe it's from the weight. You know, it does have that stable feel about it. So it's a great stone for protection on all levels. Maybe you need protection spiritually, physically, mentally, or even emotionally. It can aid in all of those things. The heft of it itself kind of gives it that anchoring energy, if you will. So it's said to anchor you or ground you if you suffer greatly from stress or trauma or nervousness, any of those. It will actually aid in grounding you and kind of bringing you back down to earth. It's believed that it will help settle any nerves. So if you lack courage, it's said to give you the courage that you need to move forward. Hematite is also said to absorb negative energies that surround you. So negative energies can come in anywhere, but it's said to calm us in those stressful times. It's believed to bring us the strength we need, or that warrior energy that we need when we need it the most. And in doing that, it aids us in our self-confidence, it aids us in our self-worth. So think about this in the work life. How many times did you feel inadequate or you didn't want to ask your boss for the raise? Maybe hematite's for you. It is a gem that they say you should carry if you need grounding in stressful situations, if you're in a lot of stressful situations. It's also said to help you with your focus and your self-confidence. Think about it. When we're grounded and when we're highly present and focused, we're way more confident than otherwise. For those of you that are highly empathetic, and it was actually my friend Kristen who asked me to do this video. So hey, Kristen. For those of you that are highly empathetic, hematite is an incredible gem or mineral for you to have. It's a great choice because it's all about giving us the courage that we need, the willpower that we need, and the confidence that we need to become our best self. Now, if you feel unsettled or stressed in your home, think about it that way as well. Maybe you need some clearing out of some negative energy within your home. This is a great stone to bring within your home. Think of hematite as a negative energy clearer and a stabilizer so that you can find more joy in the present moments rather than having your mind racing all over the place. It is highly linked to the root chakra, hence the amazing grounding properties. It's also known to help you align that self-worth factor and to help you come forward with your decision-making abilities so that you make more level-headed and grounded decisions. As a grounding stone, it will help clear out your mind, it helps you gain that mental focus, and it helps you gain that stability you need. If you are lacking confidence and you need to overcome limitations, maybe it's limitations you set for yourself, maybe it's limitations someone else set for you, it's said to aid with that as well. Now, again, as I go over some of the physical properties, remember, this is not sound medical advice. If you suffer from any of these, you should always seek the advice of a medical professional. But I do like to share the legends with you, and it is said that hematite can aid in a lot of blood, because iron, and you think about that color, it's that rich red orange color. It's said that it could aid with blood flow or any blood issues. Also any addiction, anemia, back problems and pain, inflammation, nervous systems, nosebleeds even when it comes to blood. It just helps with blood flow, pain relief, and physical strength overall. Now, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like it and share it. My name is Jana. I'll be back with another gemstone video for you in the upcoming weeks. Make sure you leave your favorite gemstone in the comment, and I promise I will get to all the gemstones as quickly as I can. But have a wonderful week, and thank you for being here and learning a little bit more with me.